But the real question everybody has, and there's lots to talk about, the new trackpad, the P3 screen, but the real question everybody has is the Touch Bar. Is it a gimmick? Does it, my concern about it, and Joanna Stern kind of echoed this in her review in the Wall Street Journal this morning, is that it is not something we're trained to use. There's no tactile feedback. If you're a touch typist, you still have to look down at the touch bar to use it because it changes all the time. And I'm concerned that I may just end up not using it. But Rene, you've had it for, how long have you had it for?
I've had one with the touch bar for a week and a half now, and the 15-inch for about 4 or 5 days.
Okay. Week and a half then. Oh, and the other thing, and I know Andy will want to know about this, but we won't get into it until we do the touch bar, is the new keyboard. But how does that touch bar work? Gimmick or not?
So I have mixed feelings about the touch bar, and in a week and a half, I've gotten to use it a lot more. The problem with the touch bar is that not every Mac has it, which means they can't make anything that's dependent on it. And when something's not dependent on it, you're not forced to use it. And then, there's even odds you'll never make it a habit. And it really is like 3D Touch. I use it all the time, but I have friends with iPhone 7s or 6Ss who never use it.
Yeah.
So it really is a convenience sort of feature. I thought I would like it less than I ended up liking it. I like on the iPad Pro, I still get upset when I have to reach up and touch the screen because I'm busy typing and it feels like you're making me stop typing to reach up and touch the screen. And with this, it was the same thing. I was like, I'm busy looking at the screen. Don't make me look down to look at this new touch bar because that's where my fingers are busy doing. But what I realized is that I'm forced to stop all the time anyway. I wasn't even thinking about it. I often don't remember how words are spelled or which word is the right word. Often I don't remember shortcuts because Adobe and Apple, bless them, use different keyboard. To cut in Final Cut is different than to cut in Logic, is different than to cut in GarageBand. And Illustrator and InDesign and Adobe, they can't even get their copy paste stuff in order. And I would have to previously stop, reach for the mouse or the trackpad, go up to the menu bar, drop down, look for the command, or more often than I'd like, go to help and search for it because I use all these apps, but not one of them all the time. So I just never remembered them. But now with the touch bar, those commands are more often than not right in front of me. So I look down and there's the cut and I never have to remember that shortcut anymore. So what I found is instead of it interrupting me more often, it's made the interruptions I already have a little bit more efficient.
That makes sense.
At least in some cases.
Do you use the autocorrect at all?
I do use, so autocorrect is great unless you use a lot of words that don't exist in autocorrect. And when you're a tech blogger, you tend to do that.
Right.
So when I'm just writing a letter, it's fine, but I end up turning it off because a lot of product names or a lot of the stuff I want to use, they get autocorrected in really bad ways. But what I noticed here is like there's a lot of English, again, it's a horrible language with lots of different sources and spellings and variations. And if I type, it doesn't work all the time. Sometimes I have to type so much of the word, I might as well guess at the complete word. But sometimes I'm typing a word and it's getting better over time because it's learning how I type. I'll look down briefly, see the word, and then just continue typing it. Where previously I'd have to, copy the word, go to dictionary, type it into Google, look for Google suggestions and stuff like that. So in that way, it's a little bit more efficient too.
And of course, I think everybody agrees that the one feature of the Touch Bar that is fantastic is Touch ID.
It is great. It's essentially a little iOS device, so it's secure. And the only problem I had initially is that I didn't remember to use it. So I was sitting there staring at the login because for password and Apple Watch, there's actual text below your login saying what it's doing. Yeah. But this was nothing, and I was just staring at it, and the text is on the Touch Bar. So then I looked down as a Touch ID. So and then I slapped my head. And after about 3 or 4 days, I remembered to do it. Yeah. But until then, it's like trying to unlock a non-Touch ID iPhone with Touch ID. You just spend 3 seconds before. So
when you don't log into your computer anymore, you just touch the Touch ID thing.
Yeah, and now it's a competition because my watch will sometimes beat my finger to the unlock.
Yeah. I still, for some reason, it won't let me set up my watch. It says the watch isn't registered with your Apple ID, even though it is. So I don't know. I'm still working.
And the one thing I miss, and hopefully Steve Gibson will get into this at some point, is I wish Apple would let us choose, like if you're in a highly secure environment, to use Touch ID plus password plus Apple Watch or some combination of what you know, what you have, and what you are, so you get real multi-factor going there. Because that's a huge benefit to what they've set up that they just haven't enabled yet. Yeah.
Still, I mean, this is pretty exciting, and really it is two-factor in the sense that you have to have your MacBook and you need to be your fingerprint. So, yeah, it'd be nice if you could do like for super secure things, you could have both the password and the fingerprint.
Absolutely. And it's like iOS, where if it ever reboots or you hold down the power button and you forcibly reboot it, anytime it's not just sleeping, it flushes your credentials and you're required to log in again.
Sounds pretty good. Andy, did you have anything you wanted to ask Rene about?
Does it kind of freak you out that when you have the actual function keys that that there's like dead space on the left edge of the touchpad that's not ever a key, whereas you have the entire left edge of the physical keyboard that doesn't line up with anything? It's like it looks like it's having the escape key, like let's say 1 centimeter off to the left from where the rest of the edge of the keyboard is.
Yeah, it does actually, because you can actually feel the edge of the touch bar, and I've gotten used to where escape is, so I can hit it without thinking about it. But if I could feel the edge of that touch bar, I would just tactily know where the escape key was, and that would be even better.
Be nice to have little bumps or something on there.
It's just an odd choice.
I'm just really surprised they didn't put haptics behind that. It seemed like such a natural place to put the Taptic engine.
Next generation.
Yep.
You always get the feeling Apple's holding a little bit back, just so they have something to do next time.
They're pretty adamant that they don't hold back, but there's just some things they can't figure out for the price point they want to hit now, and they know they'll be able to do it next year.
They may not say, "Oh, hey, we got this, we could do it, but let's not do it." But it's very much, well, like we got to, we don't have to put everything into
$20 more. And we have to figure out where to put this.
We don't have to do everything right away.
Yeah, because they were adamant about hitting that bargain $2,200 price point.
Oofta.
Well, no matter what corners they had to cut.
So the formula, they're expensive things, but Apple's typical formula is we'll buy the best parts we can, and then we'll charge our margin on top of it. So if it's 33% plus whatever it costs them to get all those parts together. They're typically consistent with that.
Why do you think they left it? So this is the John Gruber tweet that I imagine it prompted your question, Andy. Why do you think they left that space to the left of escape? Why doesn't escape
visually balanced Touch ID?
Oh, don't visually balance it.
It's an odd. Yeah, I mean, like you can debate these things, but I would prefer the escape key to be flush.
Yeah. It should be where the escape key was, because at least we have that muscle memory.
Plus, it's dead space, like you said, which is just always suboptimal.
So Gruber's pointing out that about half of it does work. Yep. So you don't have to hit it right on there, but nevertheless, that's. How programmable is this? Could I get in there with some code and modify that?
If you make an app, that app you can do a heavy level of customization within that app. You can also go into the keyboard settings and change the control strip, which is the default application. Like Serenity this morning was saying how easy it is to hit Siri when you're trying to hit the delete key by accident. So you can change that or move it. It goes into jiggly mode, and you do all that.
So you could have if you use the Emacs GUI version of Emacs, you could have it put the escape key all the way to the left.
I don't know how flexible it is on that. I mean, Emacs would have to interface with the system and tell it to do that.
Right.
But I think, there's so much going on there. Like the amount of controls I've seen, even now on the first week of release, from Final Cut to the way the iWork apps use it, it looks like a completely programmable surface. Almost, I was joking because they did actually have a DJ on stage during the event. They had corrected from algorithm. But when you start using it, you get at some point it's one hand on the trackpad, one hand on the touch bar. The times it's one hand on the keyboard, and I almost felt like I was DJing with productivity for a few minutes.
Yeah. Interesting.